right, well then we're going to do a quick review, kind of going back over all of this stuff, and we'll see how you guys do and see how much you guys remember. Okay. If your stuff is being slow and it's not really loading right now, feel free to just jot these down on paper, and then that way you can fill them in later as we go, okay? All right, here we go. First bit of information. Let's see what we got. Camera styles. How many different camera styles are there in general? In general. Addison.
2.
2, good. Who can tell me what they are, Sam? I even put the picture up. Come on, brother.
Camcorder and the DSLR.
Good. Camcorder style and DSLR. Now, whether you're using either one, it doesn't really matter. They both have the same capabilities. The DSLR can do more in general and is much more powerful, but in general, both of them do the same thing. You can video with both of them, and you can take still photos with both of them. So depending on what you're using them for is how you're going to choose, but they can do the same different things. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to break down the camcorder one first and look at its different parts. You guys are going to tell me what each part does, okay? And I'm going to randomly call you guys out. So let's see how we do. So if you need to, and if you're doing this on paper, just kind of watch as we follow through this. Are you on shared screen? Let me share this with you guys so you guys can all see, and then we'll go from there, okay? All right, so here we are, the different camera parts in their role, all right? Oops, there we go. Here's our camcorder style camera, okay? What's the lens do? Who can tell me what the lens does? Kenzie, what's the lens do? Or what is it?
The lens are the eyes that help you be able to see.
Exactly, good job. The lenses are the eyes. That's what the camera's using to record or using to see you guys, okay? What about the digital display viewfinder, Sam? What's the digital display viewfinder do?
It's a digital display.
Yep, the digital display shows you what the camera is viewing or what the camera is recording. That's exactly right. Let's see. How about the body or the housing, Shelby? What's the body or the housing in the camcorder?
The brains of the camera.
What was that? I'm sorry, one more time.
The brains of the camera.
Exactly, good. It's the brains of the camera. That's what controls everything. All the functions and all the settings are all in that body or the housing. What about the battery, Addison? What's the battery for?
Battery is the power source of the camera.
Good. It's the power source of the camera. Okay. Without it, you're not going to have or be able to do anything. It's an electronic device, so it has to have some form of power outlet. Zeta. Zeta, you got the hardest one there is. Input, output. Explain to me what input and output ports are.
Okay, so the input port is when you are putting something, when you're putting something into the camera from, and then the output is when you're extracting something from the camera to put onto like the computer or something.
Exactly, good. Input ports, these are when you plug something into the camera to put more information into it. For an example, like a microphone, if I was to plug a microphone into the input port, that information from the microphone would go into the camera and be added to the recording. Okay. Output ports, like Zeta said, is absolutely perfect. That's when we're trying to get information out of the camera. Okay. So if I was to plug something into the output port like this HDMI right here, I could plug that into a television, and then whatever's displayed on the camera would then be displayed into the television. All right, Landon, what about the playback button, man? What's the play button or playback button for?
It's for like, I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. It's in the name, man.
It plays back the recording. Or?
That's exactly right, dude. Plays back the recording. That's it. You don't have to overthink this, okay? Elena, do you remember what the symbols were? There were two symbols that you could use to determine the play button. One was a color and one was a shape. Do you remember what they are? The symbols for the play?
One was the color green, and the other one was
Absolutely.
a triangle and a box.
Perfect. Way to go. Absolutely. Yep. The color green or a triangle. Good. Anytime you see it, and you can see that right here in our image right here, that triangle pointed to the right. Now ours isn't green, but usually it'll be green. If you see that color green or a triangle or a green triangle, that means that that's the play button. Okay. What about the memory card door here, Paulo? You got the other tough one, dude. You think you can handle it? Explain to me what the memory card door does. You're muted right now, buddy.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't remember? Did you get it recorded or written down last time? If you didn't get these written down, then you can add these in right now. It's not like this is a test. Jaden, can you tell him? Do you remember what the memory card door does?
It like tells you if you need to save it on the internal memory or the SD card.
Okay, there you go. Good. If the memory card door is open, like it is here in the picture, then it's telling the camera to save any new information onto the internal memory. If the memory card door is closed, then it's telling the camera to go ahead and save any new information on the SD card. Okay, so it works like a switch in that aspect. Okay, everybody good? Paula, did you get that written down, buddy? All right.
Yeah.
Good. What about the record button? Will Culpepper. 2 symbols for record, brother. What you got?
A red or a red circle.
Good. Red or a red circle. That record button's just going to initiate the recording, or you hit it again, it's going to turn off the recording. But the symbols are what we're looking for, either red or a red circle. That's our record button. Maggie, this one's a hard one. This one's right in the name. What does the zoom control fader do?
I wrote can zoom in and out.
That's it. That's all it does, right? It controls zooming in and out, wide or tight in your shot. Okay? All right, DSLR style camera. Luke, I'm coming to you, man. Time to sit up and pay attention with me. Okay? What's the main physical difference between a DSLR camera and a camcorder style one? Yeah, you.
You can change the lens.
Exactly. Good job. So the body is still going to be the brains of it, but with a DSLR style camera, depending on what you're using it for, you're going to be able to change the lenses so that it better suits your needs. Okay, whether it's video or action or tight shots or extreme detail or panoramic, or it doesn't really matter. Whatever the different type of photography they're going to use, there's a specific lens for you guys to be able to interchange throughout that. What about the autofocus control switch? Chloe, what you got? Autofocus control switch.
It switches between autofocus and manual focus.
Exactly. When would you want your camera typically to be in autofocus? Victoria, when do you want your camera to be typically in autofocus mode?
When you're taking a still picture.
When you're what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Taking a still picture.
No, not when we're taking a still picture. If we're taking a still picture, we only need to focus it once, and we want to have complete control so that we have as much control of our final product as possible. So if we're in a still photo, we want to be using manual focus, okay? But when would we use autofocus typically, Addison?
When we're taking a video so that you don't
Good.
have to like keep doing it every time you change the angle or something.
Exactly. Good. When when we are using video. All right, now the shutter button also has two controls or two purposes. Okay, Isaiah, do you think you can give me the first one, buddy? What's the shutter button do if we're in video, or not in video? Sorry, if we're taking a still photograph.
I don't know.
We're in a still photograph. Ready? Can you see me? And I hit
Yeah.
that shutter button. What do you think I'm doing?
Clicking a button.
Yeah, but what's that do?
Take the picture.
That's exactly right. The shutter button takes the picture. So if you don't have that, write that down. If it's a still picture, the shutter button will take the picture. That's the button you push to take the photograph. Okay? But if you're in video, Kayla, what does the shutter button do?
When you're in video, that's how you activate the autofocus.
Exactly. Good job. That's how you turn the autofocus on. So you're basically setting the focus of the image before you hit the record button. Oops, missed one. What about the flash, Ashley? What does the flash do?
What?
What does the flash do?
Oh, I didn't notice that my face was in the Zoom call.
To brighten up when you take a picture.
Yep, exactly. It's going to brighten up whatever your subject is. So that's your light source, okay? When we're doing photography, we want our light source to be in the front of our subject so that our facial features or whatever it is that we're taking the photograph of or the video of are nice and clean and clear, okay? What about the filming style dial? Kenzie, what does that do? The filming style dial. Oh, you're on mute right now, kiddo.
It's the dial that changes the setting of the camera for pictures.
Absolutely. Perfect. Great job. You guys are rock stars right now. The dial is going to adjust the different presets. Okay. It's going to allow you to choose different preset settings based on the type of photography that you're going to do. Okay. What about the record button there, Sam? Mr. Overcash?
Me?
Sam Overcash. Sam, you know who you are. Sam Quattlebaum, my bad. What's the record button, brother?
Button to it's the button that records.
Okay, it's the button that records things, yes. What are the two symbols that we use for record?
The button that recording.
Good, red or a red circle, good. Shelby, what are these manual settings controls you have here?
And
What do they do?
It allows you to change the settings manually.
There you go, simple. Allows you to change the settings manually. How about the digital display? These are both viewfinders, but the digital display one, what's it gonna do, Addie?
It's the digital screen that shows the camera scene.
Good, it's the digital display that shows what the camera sees. What about the viewfinder at the top? What's that one for, Zeta?
The viewfinder at the top is so you can like look through and see what you're taking a picture of or filming.
Good, it's also gonna do the same thing, but it's an eyepiece. Okay, what about a battery and memory card location? What's gonna go here, Landon? This is a tough one. Might have to strike through the brain on it.
Battery and memory card.
Exactly, that's where we put the battery and the memory card. Okay, which one goes in the big slot? Elena, which one goes in the big opening? Which one goes in this one? The big one. The big opening right here.
The battery.
Good, the battery. The memory card slot's going to be a lot smaller and a lot thinner, and that's this one up here. Okay? All right, external memory devices. What do we call this thing? Paula, what is this?
SD card.
Good. What does SD stand for? We did this last time. Look in your notes if it's on there. If it's not on there, make sure you write it down. What does SD card stand for?
Storage device.
Good. Storage device. Okay. But this is the little disc, the little card that you insert into your camera to record things on. Okay. What do these two things do? And they're going to have the same definition because they do the same thing. Just one is attached to the camera and one is attached to the computer and one is inside of the computer. But they both do the same thing, Jade and Overcash. What do they do?
Like read the SD card.
That's exactly right. They read the SD card. Okay, it's how you get the information off of the SD card. On your Chromebooks, where is the SD card slot located, Will?
On the side of your Chromebook.
Which
Left
side?
side.
Left side. There you go. Left side
On the
at the
left.
bottom. Good. All right, we're actually going to skip mounting systems and go to stabilizers first. So we need to make sure that our camera is properly protected, to make sure that it's standing, and to make sure that it is stabilized so that we don't get any bounce or wiggle in our shots, and that our camera shots are nice and clean. So we have our stabilizers here, right? Which one? What's this one? Where are we at? Maggie.
Okay, there we go. I said a stabilizing device with 3 legs.
Good. It's tripod stabilizing device with 3 legs. What's the deal with these things? These are used for more when you're going to stay put in one place because they're bigger, they're more cumbersome, they're heavier, they're just bulkier in general. So if you're going to be staying put in one place, this is the stabilizing device you want to use. What if you want a stabilizing device though, and you're going to be moving around a lot, or you're looking at different camera angles? Well, then you're going to use one like this, the Monopod. Luke, what's the Monopod?
It's like a one-legged thing that you carry around, and it stabilizes your camera.
Good. We can get rid of all that other stuff you said, like the thing that you carry around and all that. You can just say a one-legged stabilizing device. So you had all the words in there, just had a bunch of extra one. The good thing about a monopod is they collapse onto themselves. They're a lot lighter. They're a lot easier to carry. You can easily slide this in your pocket once it's collapsed all the way down, or in a bag or a camera bag. It's a lot easier to carry, a lot less equipment, a lot lighter as well. But the other good thing about them too is I don't have to worry about having any kind of different kind of mount or anything like that to tip it forward or back or tilt or left or right or move it. I can simply, just because it's on a single stick, I can turn it, I can tilt it, it doesn't matter. All that stuff's there already taken care of. What if I am wanting to move around, but I also need to hold the camera for a long, long period of time? Well, then I'm going to need one of what? Chloe, what am I going to use?
A shoulder mount.
Good. By using these different handles and the weight being taken on by your shoulder, you're going to be able to get a cleaner picture even though you're holding the camera, less shake, less wobble out of it, and you can hold it for a very long period of time, and your shoulder takes on the weight rather than your hand, so you're less likely to get any kind of bobble or movement in it. What about this guy? I like this guy because he's just fun to play with. Victoria, what's this guy? This is a scorpion here. What is a scorpion used for?
It's one where like you need to like film like close-up shots or down low or like down on the ground kind of.
Good. They're called low angle shots, but you're exactly right. Instead of having to lay down on the ground, I can simply hold this or mount the camera at the base Okay, hold on to the handle and then put the camera down near the bottom and tilt it upwards. So I'm able to get that low angle shot without having to get all the way down onto the ground to do it. Okay, what about this guy? Kayla McCarthy, I'm calling on you for this one.
That one, they're designed to equal the camera on the top.
To equal what, honey?
Like the weight of the
Good, so
camera.
there's weights on the top and the bottom, right?
Mhm.
So we call
Yeah.
that counterweight,
Counterweight, yeah.
counterweighted. Make sure you have that typed in there. It's counterweighted so that the weight is above and below the handle so it will absorb any movement. Okay? This is called a steady cam, and you'll see these a lot in any kind of action shot. Like I could literally run down the sideline of something, or I could be chasing a lioness, which would be hard to do, but I'd be chasing a lioness as they're attacking their gazelle. Normally, if I'm running and I'm holding the camera is going to be moving. Okay, it's going to be bouncing, so it's going to be hard to see. Okay, but with that counterweight, the weight on top and below of the handle, it allows that picture to be nice and flat and smooth. It absorbs all the bounce and the wiggle out of it so that it makes it a nice, clean shot. Okay, think Discovery Channel. You remember when you seen like those big cats chasing down their prey? Those are attached to a truck, and those trucks are flying at like 40, 50 miles an hour through the jungle and through the savannah. So yeah, the trucks are going to be bouncing like this. The camera is going to be doing that too, unless it has a steady cam on it so that it balances out that weight, and it'll give you that nice, flat, clean, clear image. Okay. Now we attach these the cameras to these stabilizing devices using different types of mounts. Now the two that we use are quick release mounts and ball mounts. Now quick release mount is a two-part system where you have one part that's attached to the camera and one part that's the base that's attached to the tripod. Okay, and they have an interlocking plate. So when you click them in, they lock into place with these little handles snapping into place. And to take it out, you just open the handle up again and it lifts right out. Nice and fast, millisecond stuff. I can take that thing on and off without having to screw it on or screw it off, and it's a lot faster, a lot easier to use. Ball mounts are going to be used when? Ashley, when do we use ball mounts? When are we going to use a ball mount? Well, look at it. You see how there's a ball in here? By loosening this key, what's that allowing that ball to do? And in essence, the camera that's screwed into the top of it.
It allows it to move in different angles.
It's exactly right. Good. The ball mount allows the camera to stay on a stabilizing device, but to tilt into different angles. Okay. So we did the mounts. We did that. Our last one's right here. Microphones, sound equipment. Okay. Microphones and sound equipment. Now, there are basically two different styles, and these are the new ones, right? We didn't cover these last time, right? Two major differences between the different styles here, okay? One is called a lavalier or lapel mic. Lapels are like the collars on a suit jacket. That's what those are called. They're called lavalier or lapel mics. It gets its nickname, the lapel mic, because it clips onto like a suit jacket or onto a tie or onto a collar or onto a button, okay, onto your shirt so that you don't have to hold the microphone, okay? And it's attached with a radio receiver, and that receiver sends the signal to the camera. Okay. This way you can be untethered to the camera. You don't have to be attached to it. Your only thing you're wired to is the battery pack. Okay.
So what should we write?
For a lavalier or lapel mic, these are, like we said, these are clip-on microphones.
Yeah.
With a receiver, with a radio receiver. And then in parentheses, you can write down allows you to be hands-free. Okay, it just allows you to be hands-free. So like, for example, say I'm a weatherman, okay, and I need to be pointing at different things. Well, if I'm holding a microphone at the same time, this is a hard thing to do. And plus my hand could be in front of the picture, like I'm showing you guys here. So you just need, whenever you need to have your hands free or just you want a cleaner image, okay, you would go with a lavalier or lapel microphone because that's going to send information to your camera without having to obstruct your view. Now, a standard handheld microphone, these can be wireless or wired, but simply stated, they have to be held. Okay, you have to actually physically hold it. Okay, handheld microphones have to be held, but they can also be wireless. Or wired. Luke, are you writing these two down? Because you're going to have to record this. You're going to have to turn this in after we're done today.
I wrote the first one. I didn't hear the second one.
That's because you were on your phone at the same time. So we want to make sure instead of being on our phones that we're watching what we're supposed to be right now. A standard handheld microphone is a microphone that you have to hold. It can be wired or wireless. Now the next one, these are identification blocks. And they're called blocks basically just because of their shape. But what they do is they have a hole in the top and the bottom and you slide the microphone into it. So like you see here in the picture. Okay, and when you're holding the microphone, then that means your logo or your company's logo or your newscast logo is being shown to the audience. Okay, so it's a way to advertise your company with a tool that you're already using. These are two of the examples of ones that we use here at Bailey. Okay.
Wait, what do you write down for that?
Okay, these are identification blocks. So they slide onto the handheld microphone as a way to advertise for your company. So like you've seen these before, they're on microphones. You've seen all the different newscasters. They'll hold those and then that shows off their company that they're with. Now the last thing we're going to talk about today is the microphone cord. Okay, now the cord itself is a 3-pronged cord. It's called an XLR. So XLR, 3 letters, 3-prong cord. Just a simple way to do it. But on the bottom of your microphone, there's 3 prongs that are inside of it. So this is the one of the XLR cord, and you can see the 3 holes there, and you slide that in there. Now the best part about it, or the most important part, is this metal clip. When you slide this into the microphone, it locks into place. So if somebody steps on your cord or whatever, you won't be on air talking and then the microphone comes unplugged. It's locked in there. Now, the other end of that XLR cord gets plugged directly into your camera. Okay. In this case, it's just a 3.5 millimeter adapter, and that would just go directly into our camcorder style camera, and then that goes into the input port. So this is how you would plug that camera into it. Okay. Now, are there any questions about this information that we've gone over? Okay, fairly straightforward. I just wanted you guys to see all the different parts of all the equipment that we're going to be using, so you guys have a better understanding as to what they all do and how to use them when we're back in place. Okay, any questions? Raise your hand. Addie.
Do we turn this in on Canvas right now?
Hold on one second. We're going to actually do that together. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to come back here and minimize that. So now this is all done. I'm going to close that now. Well, first I'm going to look at what it's saved as, the title. For me, it says 2-1 equipment overview dash and then my name. Okay, make sure you know what it's titled as. Okay, then close it, close out that tab. And you're going to go into Google, or go into Canvas rather. You can do it through Google or NCN Cloud. And you go into the assignment, and I'll show you guys, we'll do the shared screen real quick to do it together. Okay, so here I am, I'm going into Google. I've gone in, scrolled down, clicked on Canvas. There's my Canvas dashboard. Okay, I click into the course. Okay, now for you, you guys are just going to click on modules. I'm going to put it in student view first, so it looks like yours, but then as soon as I see it, I'm going to click on modules. Okay, and I'm going to go down to the assignment here, and I'm going to open it up. Okay, now I'm going to click and follow the directions that it says right here. What to do when you complete the assignment. Step 1, click the submit assignment button on the top of the assignment. So I click submit assignment. Step 2, select the Google Drive tab. Select Google Drive. Make sure, step 3, make sure it's your drive. Yep, that's my drive. Step 4, click select files. Select files. Step 5, click my drive. Okay. Oh, and there it is. And now you'll have 2 of these in your drive. You'll have the original, my original, the template, but you'll also have the one that you've titled with your answers. Okay. So you click on the one you want, then click the blue add button. When you click the add button, these tabs or windows will close and another blue submit assignment button will pop up right here, and you click that button and you're done. Okay. You'll have successfully submitted that assignment. Okay. Are there any questions now?
Mr. Rosati, this was happening.
Yes, Maggie.
The same thing was happening in my last class, where a little tab pops up and it has like, I can't submit it, like it fails.
Yeah, there's sometimes right now Google, or not Google, sorry, Canvas has been having issues all day, where it's just being overloaded right now. So just, write yourself a note to resubmit or to try and resubmit it in a little bit.
Okay.
Usually when most people are off, like right now, this time between like 8 and 4 is when like everybody in North Carolina is going to be trying to turn these things in or trying to do work and turn stuff in. So usually after that time, it's a little bit more likely to be able to go through and it'll work. Luke.
I have a question. It
Okay.
says during the Zoom, it says you're recording, and my other teachers
I
have
am.
that too. Wondering why.
Well, because there's some students that are absent right now. So without the lesson of me recording this right now, they wouldn't have the information they would need to complete the work.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? So then I'll go through and I'll stop this recording right